Alright, so what I'm going to do is show you how to use My Font tool. It's a free application you can download from Microsoft, and it works with your tablet PC. And what it allows you to do is create your own fonts or handwritten fonts. So I'm going to show you how this works. It really comes in handy. So the first thing you see is you've got an area to write your letters. And so you've got three tools up here. You've got a pen tool. So when we click on that, you can see I can find tip, and then I've got some different tips, and I can customize the tip. There's also an erase function. So if on the erase function, I can erase the entire stroke, or I can erase just certain parts of the stroke line. Then I have the selection tool. So let's look at this here. So to write and create a font, I've already got some in here. So if I want to create the F font, I'll just put it in the F, G, H, like that. And I'll just write naturally. So it's just kind of the way I would write. I can come in here and fix this, like so. In this case, the dot over the J doesn't work, so I can use the erase tool and I can just erase that. If I want to erase just parts of it, I can choose, say, small, and I can erase just parts of the letter. So I can do that, or I can erase the entire stroke, as you can see here, and redo that. And then the selection tool, the way that works is I can select a letter, which I already have here for the A, and I can skew it. So I can create my letters, and then maybe I want to use small letters, but I want them all to be big size, and it allows me to customize the fonts that way. So I'm going to go ahead and create a set of fonts, and then I'll show you what we can do with that. Alright, so now that I have my fonts created, I'm going to go ahead, let's zoom out a little so you can see what it looks like. So I've got all my fonts created here, and we're going to go ahead, and now I can go to adjust my spacing. And what you'll notice is that I can see my fonts down here on the bottom, and I can see what it looks like. And then I've got a few options, so I can adjust the spacing here for the lines. So maybe I want to add a little bit more distance between the lines so it's a little easier to read. Down here I can go ahead and I can change my character spacing. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a little wider, and then here I can also add a little bit more space between my words so it looks a little more natural, easier for me to read, and I'll just exaggerate it a little so you can see what it looks like. So that might actually be a little easier to read. So there you go, you've got a really nice, clean, handwritten font. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that. So I'm going to compile the font, and what I can do is I can just give it a name. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this stuff out, and what it's going to do is create this letter in that font. Alright, and so there's my font converted into a font that I can use, and then I can save that to my computer, which I'll do in a second here. And you can see it works just like any other font. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. I'm going to hit the bold, and then you can see it bolded it, although I think in this demo here it only will bold the entire demo. So I'm going to go ahead and save the font to a file, and then we'll open up PowerPoint and see what that looks like. Alright, so now what we want to do is test the font. So I called it Tom's Hand 1. So we're going to go ahead, I've selected some text. Let's go ahead and click here. We're going to see Tom's Hand. We'll scroll down, and here it is, Tom's Hand 1. I believe this is it. And there's our font that's selected, and you can see now it works in PowerPoint just like any other font would. So that's pretty cool. One of the other things that's kind of neat about it, let's go back to the font tool, is if we go back to writing, you're not limited to writing you're not limited to writing just letters. So you could actually, if you wanted to, create characters. So maybe that's a nose with eyes, maybe it's a smile with a nose, maybe it's just a big eyeball, whatever you want to do. And then when we look at the spacing, you can see that it will bring in those other elements as well. So you don't have to have your letters be letters. It's just a place to write, and that'll convert it to a font.